Hello everybody and welcome back to a new episode of I Talk to Notebooks. My name is Sarah and today we are doing week 3 of the Clever Crafter Mixed Media Challenge. As always, links to Clever Crafter's Instagram will be in the description below. And if you don't know what I'm doing, this lovely person on Instagram has created a challenge so that we may all partake in trying our hand at various mixed media challenges. So today, August 15th, this was the glue challenge, so I used glitter glue and I did a fall theme with a spider web and some red and gold leaves. The spider is more of a splotch, I will admit, but I still think I like the way this one turned out at the end. Then on the 16th, the prompt was embroidery, so I printed out a circle on my thermal printer, taped it together, and use that as a template because I wanted to call back to the embroidery hoops that people traditionally use, even though I wasn't going to be doing all that because I actually wasn't able to find any of the cloth that you typically embroider on. I think it's called something weird like Aida cloth or something. I'm probably using the wrong word, but I decided to use the dollar store felt instead because I already had that from the stitching challenge and I figured it would work. And this one is a testament to my own hubris because I thought, how hard can embroidering be? So I just looked up a reference image of embroidered lavender and went to town with my embroidery floss. And yeah, embroidery is a craft that you need to actually learn to be good at. Duh. So this did not come out great. It didn't come out as bad as I thought it was going to about halfway through when I really didn't think things were looking so good. It kind of sort of came together at the end, but it certainly doesn't look professionally done, and the image is way off center from the circle. So that's going to be an oops for me, for sure. But anyways, yeah, this challenge I got behind a few times as well. I was going good throughout the week, but generally when the weekend comes, I am out doing all kinds of fun stuff, and I don't generally get to do my mixed media challenge. I do the best I can to do a challenge day, but life gets in the way, and there was no implication in the challenge that you have to do it all on the specific day. It's just 31 prompts for August. So yeah, there's the lavender petals anyway. And I used foam dots to attach it because that just seemed like a better way to attach the felt. And there it is. And the next prompt was tassels, so I looked up a YouTube video on how to make tassels. I will be linking that in the description below, so you too can learn how to make tassels if you want. And these tassels used up almost all of the skeins of embroidery floss that I had, which is fine because I have too much. So I got to get some out of the way. And for this one, I wanted to use beachy colors. I really like blues and like beige tan colors. I think they're really beautiful. They remind me of beach trips, which are always happy memories for me. So I made the tassel out of those colors. Did 4 of them. And if you hear my cat screaming, that's because I have shut us in the room because the dryer is kind of loud outside and I didn't want that sound to be distracting. So instead we're going to have distracting meows. Which I think if I had to choose between the dryer and some meows, I would pick the meows. So anyway, yeah, making tassels was kind of fun, but it was more frustrating than I thought it would be with my fat fingers. It was kind of hard to tie everything correctly and my hands got really sweaty. As you can see by the pool of liquid on the desk, that was the sweat from my hands. Just kidding, of course. I don't know what that was. Probably condensation from a drink I had earlier. We're gonna go with that. Yeah. The most fun part of making tassels for sure was cutting apart the actual tassel bit at the end and trimming it. That was really satisfying. So many scraps left over. Well, let's talk about other things in this week in terms of journaling. I really still been enjoying my new journal. Huge fan. Can't wait to show it to you guys in my second September video. Gonna put that up and explain how I like it, how I've been feeling about it, how it compares to the last one. And it's just good to be home, you know, back in a journal that has been reliable. The same one that I always return to every other journal. I really like it, so can't complain. Got a really cute decoration on the front that I can't wait to show you guys. So it's very one of a kind in my opinion. So I can't wait for you guys to see that. And if you can hear that sound, that's my cat thinking that maybe if she scratches the door it will magically open, but it won't. Yeah. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of journaling in my notebook. Got a little bit of an itch to get some new washi tape, so I did. And yeah, just been having a lot of fun with more of a minimal decorating style. One thing I really noticed this week is that when I use So typically my MO for journal decorating, pre-decorating, when I'm on autopilot and don't feel particularly creatively inspired, I will just take my favorite decorative paper and put it every two spreads, every other spread in my journal, I'll put one. But the problem with that, particularly with non-spiral bound notebooks, is that it really bulks the journal up quickly, and it kind of makes it too fat for my taste. Don't get me wrong, I still really like the way that the spreads look when I'm done, but the overall journal itself is so bulky and rounded that it's almost like visually unappealing. So I've been using a little bit less decorative paper in my journals, which is too bad because I like to use a lot of it. I like to use it up. I don't know. I might go back to using more of it and just deal with the bulk. But for now, I've been using a little bit less of that and a little bit more washi tape and things like that. And the other thing is I like to leave a couple of blank spreads every now and again in case I feel like doing something. Sometimes I get suddenly creatively inspired and I want to do a specific thing with a spread, but it doesn't really work because I already have stickers or washi or paper already down. So I don't really know what the solution is. I'm going to try some different pre-decorating techniques this time around because I definitely did get into like a habit and a rut before, and it was good. It was working for me then, but I just want to shake things up now, find something more effective. And then this was I believe the 16th. Maybe it was the 17th. I can't see the date, but it was wax was the prompt. So, it was the 18th. So I did crayons all down there to make a galaxy shape, and then I used some what's the word for this? It's wax, but it's the kind with a wick in it, not the kind that you like melt into that fancy little pot with the spoon. You know what I'm talking about. And I had some space themed wax seals, so I just used those. This was super satisfying until I dropped some wax on my thigh and burned myself, and I think that's looking a little nasty now, way worse than when I first did it, so I'm not sure if that's ever going to heal entirely. I might have a scar on my hands here. So, or on my thigh, I should say. But yeah, it was still really fun to make them. There's something inexplicably satisfying. Just look at the way, oh my gosh, just watching that wax flow onto the page all day, people. Every day you should be doing this. And by the way, this equipment, like all you need is a lighter and some wax sticks. All of this wax stick came in a very affordable pack for like less than $20, and so did the seals. So you can definitely get those if you want to. They're more affordable than I thought they would be. Then for abstract, I just had this vision in my head of this woman blowing away in the wind. So I drew the woman blowing away in the wind with Crayola Super Tips. That's just what I felt like doing, and why overcomplicate it? Then for sandpaper, I have this old used sandpaper from when I touched up the paint on my car when I scratched it, which is something that happens on a way too frequently of a basis in my opinion. I have a hard time in parking garages. I tend to get very stressed. And I was going to do a beach theme, but then when I looked at the sand, it looked like cat litter to me. So, well, it became a litter box. So that's my little cat there. Her name is Storm. And, oops, we all know what that is. Hey guys, it's just the circle of life, and she's kicking the litter over that little poop. And then the final day was the 21st, right? 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Yeah, 21st, that day was origami. So I made these origami tessellation hydrangeas. This is the only flat origami piece I know how to make, and I made 4 of them in kind of a peachy color and a brown color, and made a checkerboard shape. I thought they looked really nice together. My friend taught me how to make these in high school band class, and I was obsessed with making them all throughout the senior year of high school, all throughout college, and even now and again I get an urge to make them. And it was the only thing I really knew how to make out of origami for a long time, but actually now I can make some other cool stuff too, but unfortunately all that stuff is kind of 3D and wouldn't fit well in a journal. So I decided to go back to basics, go back to my signature move. This by far was the longest process, and I didn't even, so with these tessellation hydrangeas, you can actually, it's up to your skill to an extent how far you go with them and how many layers you add to them. Usually I try to do like 5 layers, but in the interest of time and sanity, I just did 4 for these, so they look a little bit less delicate than the ones I typically make, but the truth is it was already taking me, it took me like 2 hours to fold all 4 of them, so, and that was going just non-stop. So I didn't want to add more work on top of that. So there's one of them right there, and typically what a lot of people do, the way you're supposed to finish it is those square parts on the outside you're supposed to fold in so they also look like flower petals, but because I wanted it to be a checkerboard shape and to have a checkerboard appearance in the journal, that was just the vision I had for this, I left them square. Yeah, and you'll notice they're not the neatest, particularly the last two are not super neat because I just got a little bit impatient. It was taking forever and I didn't really feel like spending hours and hours and hours on that. You know, I usually fold one at a time, not 4 in a row, and it is pretty time consuming. Another cool thing about this you can do is if you have a really big origami paper, you can actually fold multiples of these onto one sheet of paper. And I actually learned how to do that, and now I've completely forgotten, but I made a few of them back in the day because I found them really interesting. There's another girl, origami was really popular at my high school, and there was another girl who made these really amazing multiple hydrangeas on one piece of paper. So she really inspired me, and then it wasn't until college that I finally was able to understand how to make them. And then the best one is the origami roses. I always wanted to be able to make really beautiful 3D origami roses, and I could never follow the instructions, but for some reason this year I learned it, and I don't know why it suddenly clicked into place. Maybe I just found the right video or something, but I made a beautiful bouquet of a dozen black roses, and I folded this violet vase to put them in, and they're sitting on my kitchen counter, and they look really beautiful. I made the stems and the leaves and everything, and some of them are like rose buds that I have kind of wilted over. Some of them are, you know, partially open roses, which are my favorite, and then there's some fully open roses as well. So I learned that 3 different models, everything about the stems and the leaves, and yeah, they're not the most beautiful in the world. I'm too impatient and not detail oriented enough to really ever make a truly beautiful, stunning, crisp origami model. It just, even when I do my very best, I can't see it through. I'm too impatient. Not that I can't, but I just don't. And so I've just kind of accepted that for me, the fun is in the folding, and yeah, I'm not going to have as beautiful of a model as a lot of people who are more patient, but I'm having fun, so that's the point for me. I'm not trying to sell these or get famous. Like, there's nothing special about learning how to fold them. It's just fun for me. It's satisfying. It gives me something to do with my hands, which I really like, particularly when watching movies or something like that. It's really nice to have something to do with my hands. It's kind of, I don't want to say mindless, but I already have the steps to memorize, so it's not really that difficult. This brown paper was kind of a different texture for some reason. I think they were all from the same pack, so I don't know why, but I was really struggling a lot with some of the folds on this one. It was really looking ugly. So one of the brown ones in particular looked really bad, in my opinion. But, you know, on camera these don't look so awful. Just don't look too closely. Do any of you guys do origami? I feel like that's something that a lot of people in the journaling community know how to do. Let me know your favorite models down below. I really like doing flowers. Flowers are always my favorite. I just love floral everything, but if you know any cute models that are really fun to make, or anything like really interesting that can move, like some origami models move when you're done with them, or like the water balloon that you can blow up, I like that one. Anything like that, let me know, because I'm always on the lookout for cool new stuff to obsessively try to learn how to fold. There's a lot of stuff this year in particular that I just got fed up not knowing how to do, so I've been trying to learn to do it. Like, I've been trying to do a little watercolor painting, and oh my goodness, does it look not cute. But you know what? I'm having a good time, and it's better than I thought it would be, so improvement is something. Like, I can't just be bad at everything. I feel like I need to be a little bit competent at some kind of painting before I die, you know? It just seems wrong to be so into paper crafting and not know how to paint. I wish I knew how to draw better too. I've been trying to let myself draw more. I actually got really inspired by Sage from, oh my gosh, what is her name? It's a verb, a nice verb, like Sage Illuminates or something. I'll put her YouTube channel down below. I found out about her through Paperworm, and then I was like looking at her YouTube and at her Instagram, and her Instagram really inspired me because she was drawing these really good pictures of people, and she was saying in her caption how she is letting herself try to draw people more, even though she gets a little anxious about the results sometimes. Like, she always does better than she thinks, and she likes having the practice. And that really inspired me too, to draw more, actually. So, yeah. It's good to try something even if you're not comfortable with it, because there's no other way to get better, and who cares if it's bad. That's it. Bye.